The hallway outside courtroom 3 smelled like floor wax and other people's regrets. I'd been sitting here for 40 minutes, counting ceiling tiles. 40. 3 white rectangles with small brown water stains in the corners. The bench was hard, the kind of hard that reminds you your body still exists even when your life doesn't. She was inside with her attorney, going over final statements. I could hear her voice through the door sometimes, sharp and efficient, the same voice that stopped telling me goodnight 3 years ago. I wasn't preparing. There was nothing to prepare. She wanted the house, the savings, the future. I wanted to stop pretending the last 8 years had been anything other than 2 people sharing space while facing away from each other. Her attorney came out to use the water fountain. Mid-50s, expensive watch, the kind of man who'd spent decades perfecting the art of not really seeing people. He glanced at me like I was furniture. Won't be long. He said I nodded. He didn't ask if I had representation. The file probably said pros, which in his world meant amateur, which meant easy. The bailiff called us in. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, American flag in the corner. My wife sat at the petitioner's table in a gray blouse I'd never seen before. She looked professional. She looked like someone who had planned this day for a long time. I sat at the respondent's table alone. The judge was a woman about 60, reading glasses low on her nose, the kind of quiet that made you feel like she'd already read everyone in the room twice. Her attorney stood first. He did the thing they do, opening statement designed to paint a picture. He called me unsupportive. He called the marriage barren of partnership. He used words like failed obligations and lack of contribution. My wife watched me while he spoke. I think she wanted eye contact, wanted me to flinch or look down or give her something. I looked at the judge's nameplate instead. Honorable Margaret Chen. He has not worked consistently. The attorney continued, he has no significant assets separate from the marriage. He has been, for all practical purposes, a dependent presence with no meaningful contribution to the household or the business. The bakery she opened 4 years ago. The one I'd written the business plan for at 3 in the morning while she slept. The one I'd quietly co-signed the initial loan for with money from an account she didn't know existed, money from before we met, from years of 12-hour shifts that left me numb. Her attorney kept going. The petitioner has carried the emotional and financial weight of this marriage. We're asking for equitable distribution that reflects that reality. The judge looked at me. Respondent, would you like to respond at this time? I started to speak, just to say something, anything, to end the ritual. But the judge was looking down at her papers now, frowning slightly. Mr. Delgado, she said, not to me exactly, more to the file. I'm sorry. I want to clarify something before we proceed. Her attorney straightened, ready to pounce. The judge looked up at him. Counsel, you've stated your client was unaware of Mr. Delgado's professional background prior to the marriage. That's correct, Your Honor. He's never held consistent employment during the marriage. He's been employment. The judge removed her glasses. Counsel, did you review the financial disclosures fully? Of course, Your Honor. His reported income has been minimal. No, the judge said quietly. Did you review the source documents or just the summaries? The attorney hesitated. It was small, barely a pause, but I saw it. My wife shifted in her chair. I reviewed the disclosures provided. The attorney said carefully. The judge looked at me, not with drama, just with something tired in her eyes. Mr. Delgado, you worked at County General before your marriage. Correct. I nodded. For how long? 8 years, I said. My voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. And you left. When? 3 years before the marriage. I transitioned to teaching. The judge looked at her papers. At the university level, Gross Anatomy Surgical Residency Program. Yes. My wife was staring at me now, not with recognition, with the expression of someone watching a stranger speak a language she didn't know existed. The judge turned to her attorney. Counsel, did you see the retirement accounts listed in the assets? The attorney was flipping pages now. Fast. The joint accounts are... There's a separate account, the judge said evenly. Funded entirely before the marriage. Valued at approximately $400,000 at the time of the marriage. He hasn't touched it. It's listed. Page 37 of the disclosure. The attorney stopped flipping. The loan your client used to start her business, the judge continued, the initial capital. It came from a withdrawal against that account. He co-signed, but the funds were his. Separate property. He never claimed repayment. The room got very quiet. My wife's face was doing something complicated. Not guilt. Not shame. Just the slow horror of realizing you never asked a single real question in 8 years. Her attorney looked at her. She wouldn't meet his eyes. Your Honor, he started. I wasn't aware. My client represented. I'm sure she did, the judge said. She put her glasses back on. Mr. Delgado, do you intend to claim reimbursement or separate property classification for the business loan? I thought about it. About the years of dinners where she talked and I listened. About the morning she left without saying goodbye. About the night I came home late from teaching and found a note on the counter saying she needed space. No, I said, I don't. The judge waited. I don't want the business, I said. I just want what's fair. Half the equity we built together. Nothing more. My wife's attorney looked relieved. My wife looked like she didn't know whether to be relieved or terrified. The judge nodded slowly. We'll proceed with that understanding. But counsel, I want it noted that your characterization of this man as having no meaningful contribution is inaccurate based on the record. Inaccurate to a degree that concerns me. Her attorney went very still. I'll give you 15 minutes to review the complete file before we continue. She banged the gavel. Just a tap. Then she looked at me. And for a second, it wasn't a judge looking at a litigant. It was something else. Something almost like respect. I looked away. My wife was still staring. Her mouth opened once, then closed. No sound came out. I stood up and walked to the window at the end of the hall. Rain was starting. Gray sky, gray building, gray city. I thought about the 8 years before the marriage, the ones she never asked about. The ones where I held people's insides in my hands while they died anyway. The ones that taught me how to be quiet, how to keep moving when everything inside you wants to stop. The ones I never told her because she never asked. Her attorney walked past me to the water fountain. He didn't look at me this time. He looked at the floor, at the wall, at anything except the furniture. I went back inside when the bailiff called. The settlement was fair. Mathematically fair, which is the worst kind of fair when you're used to winning. She got the house. I got half the equity. She kept the business. I kept the retirement account I'd never touched. We signed papers. The judge dismissed us. My wife stood at the table after everyone else moved. I walked past her toward the door. Wet, she said. I stopped. I didn't know. She said, about before, about the money, about any of it. I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time in 8 years, I saw her clearly. Not as my wife, just as someone who had lived beside me without ever being curious. I know, I said. I walked out. The rain had stopped. The air smelled clean, like something starting over. I stood on the courthouse steps and felt the weight of nothing. No anger, no victory. Just the quiet of a room finally empty. I got in my car and drove home, not to the house. To the apartment I'd rented last month. Small place, 1 bedroom. No furniture yet, except a bed and a chair by the window. I sat in the chair and watched evening come. She never asked where I went after the courthouse. She never asked anything. And that, more than any courtroom revelation, was the whole story of our marriage.